Today I'm going to walk you through the TrueCommerce's uniquely embedded solution that is 100% embedded inside of Dynamics 365. Uniquely to our solution, while being 100% embedded, we've not modified any Dynamics 365 core objects. So we leverage the use of new objects along with existing data entity structures in order to be able to integrate transactions into and out of Dynamics 365. We're really focused on three key areas of EDI integration. One, being able to do EDI with your customers. Two, being able to do EDI and other integrations with your supplier community, along with being able to do EDI and enabling you to transact with third-party logistics locations that you work with. Today we're going to focus solely on the customer side of EDI, where we're talking about accounts receivable. You'll note that you'll see our EDI solution in the list of modules that are a part of Dynamics 365. We're not asking you to maintain additional databases for our solution. We're not asking you to provision additional servers or anything along those lines. We're delivered as a full managed service that is delivered and embedded directly in Dynamics 365. When we go and we take a look at our accounts receivable area, we're going to see that we have the concept of cross-referencing. These cross-references are where your business is going to be able to work with us to configure different business rules in order to be able to really drive your organization to a point that you can manage your relationships, whether supplier, whether customer, or whether 3PL focused by exception versus having to touch every single document that goes through the system. You'll see unique to the TrueCommerce EDI integration, the ability to set up cross-references at a system level, meaning rules that are applicable across your entire Dynamics 365 instance, regardless of company or legal entity. You'll see that you'll also be able to have those rules configured if there's any deviations by Dynamics 365 company or legal entity. And you'll also see that you're able to control those business rules on a per customer basis, along with being able to define those business rules not only to the granularity of customer, but also being able to boil those down to having different business rules when you're processing transactions for different sales channels. So in certain scenarios, you may be working with customers where you provide inventory to a distribution center, and those same customers you may be drop shipping to or shipping to a store or doing direct store delivery. What's important to us is understand that our customers that we work with on a day-to-day basis have expanding needs within their trading partner community and rules that they want to be able to apply based on the different sales channels that they have. When we go in and we take a look at those business rules that are going to enable you to manage things by exception, we can take a look at some of the more simplistic rules so we get an understanding of how the system works. So if we look at a very elementary scenario that we have, which is really dealing with duplicate purchase orders. What do I want to do when there is a scenario where a customer is submitting the same order a second time? Our system throughout has the concept of what we call errors and warnings. An error is going to be a scenario where we don't allow a transaction into or out of Dynamics 365 until the problem is resolved. And we can alert you in a myriad of ways when those occur. We can have that pop up onto the screen if someone's in our system using it manually. We can have that saved to a file, spooled to a printer, any combination of those. But what's nice about the TrueCommerce EDI for Dynamics 365 integration, it does not require you to touch every single document. Because we are an embedded solution in Dynamics 365, you can leverage the Dynamics 365 batch scheduler to be able to automate events such as importing of orders, sending of ASNs, sending of invoices. You can tie those events to other Dynamics 365 batch jobs in order to achieve areas of scale for your organization without having to use other third-party scheduling utilities or other third-party rules that may be sitting outside of Dynamics 365. The warning uses all of those same reporting structures. So again, being able to have that appear on the screen, saved to a file, spooled to a printer, or most commonly emailed to the user. The warning is going to be a scenario where we allow that transaction into or out of Dynamics 365, but we let the user know that an event has occurred. You'll notice as we go through and we take a look at our business rules, you don't have to understand EDI to be able to go in and look at the configurations and change things. So if you have a vendor agreement that changes, or your customer service team decides they want to hold one of your customers a little bit closer to the vest, they can actually go in and make the change. There's not a prerequisite that you understand the EDI segments and elements or XML nodes or structures. So when we go in, we'll notice that everything is in Dynamics 365 terminology, along with being in basic business terminology. So for instance, when I'm processing an order, I can tell the system, again, at all those different levels we looked at, what do I want to use for the price? Do I want to use the price that's in Dynamics 365? Do I want to use the price that's sent over in the EDI document? And more importantly, do I want to be notified when they're different? And when they're different, do I air out the whole document? Do I just omit that line? Or do I provide a warning to the customer service team to let them know that that event has occurred while still allowing that transaction into Dynamics 365 so that I have visibility of the inventory requirements and such for that? Other rules that you'll see within here, there are a myriad of them, but is things around quantity reservations, being able to go in and say, when I bring in this order via EDI and it's for a particular sales channel, do I want to manually reserve inventory? Do I want to automatically reserve inventory? A lot of times what we see is that might be different by sales channels. So for instance, if you're drop shipping to a consumer that's expecting the product, you might want to automatically reserve inventory. However, if you're shipping to a distribution center and the lead times for those orders are longer, maybe you handle that in a manual mode. We're able to follow those very detailed, very granular rules through configuration without customization directly inside of Dynamics 365. Other business rules that you're going to see and be able to leverage from within the solution are going to be things like making sure that your customers are ordering within a certain carton quantity multiple or within a certain unit of measure, being able to tell the system whether you want to use the payment terms that are coming from your customer or the payment terms that are in Dynamics 365. And do you want to know when those are different? Being able to be alerted when they send a shipping method that doesn't match the mode of delivery that you have set up in Dynamics 365, or allowing your customer to dictate the shipping method, are all different types of business rules that we have. Again, you'll note you don't have to be an expert in EDI or in XML in order to be able to use the solution. The other thing that you'll notice from within here is there are a myriad of rules. Don't worry, you won't be on the hook to do this configuration on your own. During your implementation, TrueCommerce will take you through a business process review, where we'll review your order-to-cash processes, along with, if applicable, your procure-to-pay processes or your inventory control processes, one, so we can understand a little bit more about your organization, and two, so that we can actually be doing the configuration and deliver to you a fully configured solution. As we transition over and we start to take a look outside of our business rule processing, we're going to be able to see that in every area that we have integration into Dynamics 365, we offer up what we call our mailbox. Our mailboxing occurs for each of the areas of integration. This is essentially where you can go and flex and pivot on the content that's being sent to you via EDI or via XML from any of your customers, suppliers, or 3PLs. So when we go in here, you're going to notice this also happens to be the area where I could process transactions manually if I wanted to do more manual validations. But most of our customers are using that Dynamics 365 batch scheduler, so they don't have to be in the solution every single day. From within here, you're able to flex and pivot. Because we're in Dynamics 365, you get all the benefits of being able to do personalization, filtering, and saved searches. What's also nice is if there's an EDI expert in your organization that wants to be able to have visibility to the EDI content, we don't obfuscate that from you. We do allow you to be able to see that EDI content in its true form, in that raw X12 data, if that is something that someone on your team is interested in seeing. And again, you're seeing that directly from within Dynamics 365. You're not having to leave to go to another third-party solution in order to be able to see that. If there are folks in your customer service organization that want to be able to look at an EDI document but are not able to interpret that content, that's okay too. They're able to see the EDI document in a nice, easy-to-read formatted view so that they can see that and take a look at it if there is research that they need to do on that particular transaction. Also, from within any of our mailboxes, whether we're talking about inbound or outbound mailboxes, we do give you the ability to be able to reprocess a transaction. Again, directly from within Dynamics 365, you can reprocess an order, you can resend an invoice, you can resend an ASN. All of that content is going to be able to be done directly from within Dynamics 365, and you're not having to go out to another solution to be able to do that. This is all directly from within the interface. If we go and we look at our exporting features, being able to export out things like ASNs, being able to export out purchase order acknowledgments, inventory catalogs, and invoicing are all part of our overall solution. You'll note that our ASN processes are pre-integrated with the advanced warehousing functionality that is a part of Dynamics 365, so you don't have to worry about going through a separate pack-out process and another utility in order to be able to build the ASN content. If advanced warehousing is enabled, we're able to pick up that carton and item detail that's being gathered at the packing station so that that information is not having to be keyed in a secondary time. Upon transactions and upon invoices being posted within the system, those transactions are going to be able to be sent out to your trading partner community. So you're going to be able to see that those transactions, upon posting them, can be sent out directly to the trading partner. Again, not requiring a secondary process in order for you to be able to do that. If there's a need for you to resend an invoice, you can actually do that directly from within the interface by simply resetting the message. You're not having to go to another third-party utility to do that, and you're not having to worry about posting another invoice in Dynamics 365 in order to accomplish that feat. That was the bulk of what we wanted to cover off to you guys today. Know that our solution is 100% embedded, and we're not just limited to working with you from an accounts receivable standpoint. We also have integrations for your 3PL and for your suppliers, along with a myriad of other supply chain solutions, including an e-commerce platform, and including a supplier enablement solution. So feel free to reach out to TrueCommerce directly if you have any questions, and thanks for your time today.